Recording in progress. All right. So, good morning, everyone. We are going to start on our backs, but if you have a couple of blocks, go ahead and put them toward the end of your yoga mat, but not all the way at the end, maybe a foot in, and hopefully you can see that okay. And then come on down to your backs. And if you normally are working with a chair, you know that you can lay on your table there or your bed there to do the same work. And as you come down to the floor, just let your legs rest, kind of the shins, rest on your blocks, and then come on down. Maybe have your strap nearby. Some of you might want that. That feels kind of good. And then allow the shoulders to draw down toward the floor. Your hands can rest on your lower belly or down on the floor beside you. If your blocks are too close up to your knees, then kind of scoot them about halfway down your shins so that the legs are just resting on the blocks. And if this is bothering you for any reason, you can take the legs on either side for now, because we're not using the blocks just yet, but I want it set up for when we're ready. All right, so there you go. There's all the instructions. Allow your body to start to settle down into the mat. Start to feel your breath. And by the way, if you don't have two blocks, you can use your blanket here for the same thing. Just roll it up nice and big, or a couple pillows would work as well. And breathe in and breathe out. And we're going to play with just a little counted breath, a slightly different one. As you breathe in, you're going to count to the number 3. When you get to the top of that 3, you're going to pause and hold the breath for the count of 4. And then you're going to exhale for the count of 5. So it's 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling for 3, pausing for 4, exhaling for 5. So go ahead and begin at your own pace, inhaling for 3, pause, and exhale 5. Good, and keep that going, inhaling 3, pause, exhale 5. Inhaling, pause, exhale, and on your own, staying with this counted breath for a few more rounds. Two more. And then let go of that counted breath. You can release your hands from the belly if they were there. And just kind of internal and external rotation of your legs with your legs still on the blocks. Now, if your calf muscles happen to be tender, if you've been doing some hills lately, you might feel that as you're rolling over the blocks, but that's okay as long as you're not causing pain. Just internal, external, the toes come toward each other and then move away. And two more right here. And then the feet are neutral, flex both feet, engage. I realize my camera just popped off for some odd reason. Let me fix that. That's weird. Okay, who knows? So flex your feet and then point your toes and flex. Good, and point. One more big flex and point, and then big circles with your ankles. Kind of a nice way to do this, right? With the feet off the floor, and go the other way. And then press down on the blocks to try to lift your glutes off the floor. And even if they don't physically lift off the floor, engage the glute muscles so that the glute and hip muscles so that you could, if you had more space. And then lower down, relax everything. And one more time, press the legs into the blocks, press the hips up, squeeze your glutes. Maybe there's a little space back there, maybe not. And exhale, let go. Draw your right knee to your chest. And just feel that. And you're either holding above the knee or behind the thigh. Either one is good. But then press the left leg down into the block. You're going to feel some activity there, right? As we engage that leg. A lot of times we say engage the long leg. Well, now we're getting some additional feedback by pressing that calf muscle into the block. And release that leg, right leg straight, left leg draws in toward chest. Same thing as you're drawing the left knee in, press the right leg down into the block. And breathe. Good, switch again. The left leg goes long, the right leg goes back toward chest. Press the left leg in, hands behind your right thigh, take the right leg up to the ceiling. If it is easier or more comfortable to use your strap here, go ahead and do that. But otherwise, the hands behind the thigh should support that leg. As you press the back of the thigh into your hands, the back of your right thigh into your hands, you're resisting with that leg, creating some good stretch through the back of the right leg and pressing down through the left leg. So legs are active. Good, maybe bend and straighten the right leg a few times. Warming up the hamstrings here. Good, maybe one more here. Stretch the heel up toward the ceiling, press the leg into your hands, hold the hands so that the leg doesn't move, and let go. Slowly lower that leg down to the block and bring the left leg to chest. Hands go behind the left leg, your right thigh's pressing down, or your right calf muscle is pressing down into the block, and straighten the left leg. Bringing that foot up toward the ceiling as if you were stepping on the ceiling. The shoulders draw down, the right leg is pressing into the block. The hands are holding the leg is pressing back into the hands. Big deep breath, everybody. And then bend and straighten maybe 5 times. Breathe, that's it. 3 more. Stretch it out. Good stretches, everybody. We want as much extension and range of motion as our bodies allow, except not hyperextending, right? Good. Hold that leg straight and lower it down to the block. Press in, bring the right leg back up. We're almost done with this little series. Your hands are behind your leg just like they were before. Left leg presses in. And as you notice, when you press that left leg in, what happens to the left side glute, right? It gets a little more active. Straighten the right leg up to the ceiling. Press the shoulders down. 1, you're staying right here. 2, the hands go behind your head, supporting that big heavy head, and lift up to a little bit of a crunch. Elbows are mostly out to the side. You're pressing your belly down. I'm looking at my right knee. I'm working with my core here. And release. Hold the legs if you can. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale. Press it up, looking up at that knee, reaching and feeling that. Only if you want, lift the left leg off your block a couple of inches. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the left leg, lower your body. Bring that right knee to chest. Straighten it down to the block. Bring the left leg in. Find your breath. Hands on the back of your leg. The leg goes straight up to the ceiling. You're pressing that leg into your hand. Maybe you stay here. Maybe the hands go behind the head and you stay there. Otherwise, let's see if we can lift up through the head, neck, shoulders. Breathe, looking at the left knee, toning in through the belly. Press the right leg into your block. And lower, hold the legs if you can. On your next exhale, lift up. Hold here, tone in through the belly. Maybe lift the right leg. Find your breath, everybody. And lower down, lower everything down. Legs go back to the blocks. And just pause here for a moment. Bend the knees and let the heels of your feet come to your block. So the heels of the feet are pressing into the block. And then notice if you take your hands down to your sides, feel where the back of your shoulders are compared to the floor. We're going to be working here. So the heels dig into the blocks so that the legs are active, and then press the shoulders into the floor to activate the back body. You should feel your chest lift up a little bit. Keep the head, neck neutral. If your chin is really high up, place a small something underneath your head so that the head is not dropping back, so the head is neutral. And release the shoulders. And then dig the heels in, press the shoulders back, work the upper body. Imagine, if you could, squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other. That's what we're working on. A little bit of back body work. And release. Good. One more here. Press the shoulders back. Press the heels into your blocks. Find your breath. And release. Good job, everybody. Maybe scoot your butt a little closer to the blocks, just a little bit. So we're going to play with a little bit of bridge work here, not a high bridge. Be mindful of your head, neck, shoulders. The elbows up to the shoulders press back into the floor, just like we did before. Your fingers are pointing up toward the ceiling, but they're soft. The heels are digging into your blocks. Make sure your blocks are steady. And then press into the blocks to lift the hips, not super high, not about lifting the chest too much, but press the elbows, the back of the upper arms, the shoulders into the floor, the heels into the floor, and feel the work happening, everybody. Woo! And exhale, let go, come all the way down, knees to chest. So we play with here these like points of purchase, or these points of contact, where we can activate the back body or activate the body in general. All right, let's do one more of those. Find your blocks. Heels dig into the blocks. The shoulders draw down, right? So when we're talking about posture and opening up the shoulders and not rounding the shoulders forward, this in and of itself is really good work to work that back body. So feel the shoulders squeeze back behind you, press down, lift up, and hold. Breathe. So squeeze the glutes maybe a little bit. You're on your heels, so you're working the legs a little bit harder than if your feet were flat, especially the hamstrings. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let go. Come on down, knees come up to your chest, rock side to side. And then last one's here. I want you to scoot your blocks out of the way so that your feet come to your mat. The shoulders press down again, the elbows press into the floor, the whole back arm presses into the floor. Lift and take the hips up, bridge pose. Again, I'm not worried too much at this early point in class of going up too high, but then take the palms of the hands and press them down to the mat. You can even grab the sides of your mat if you would like, and then march in place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just hold, lift up. Press into the four corners of your feet. Engage the glutes a little bit. Lean into your left foot. See if you can lift your right and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that foot. Find balance again and lift your left foot. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Lift up both hips and then lower all the way down. Nice job, everybody. Knees come to chest. Rock side to side. Whew. And then roll the knees over to one side and come on up. So we're going to stay seated again. And if you usually work with a chair, you can decide whether to stay on the flatter surface you work with or a chair. I want to move into Janu Sirsasana. So if I'm mirroring here, you would be taking your right leg out, your left knee in. If you're in a chair, this one foot would be on the floor, other leg would be straight. Maybe you have your strap, maybe not, okay? What I like the strap for is when you wrap that strap around your foot, pull the shoulders back. Think about what we did on the floor, where we were pressing the back of the shoulders into the floor. That's what I want you to do. I want you to press them into an imaginary wall behind you and see how that feels. And breathe and notice. And then keep the shoulders back and lean the torso forward, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot of bit, right? Where's that? Where do you feel that? Breathe. Don't worry about taking the body all the way down, but see where you can tap into the hamstring, the back of that leg. Pull the shoulders back, pull them back. You got it. And then lean up, bend that knee, hang on to the strap and take the leg up. Strap would be in your right hand or same side leg hand. The other leg comes up and breathe. Balance work here, working a little bit of core. Notice. Release your strap. See if you can hold that leg. And lower down, let go. Good. Release that side. Just shake it out, everybody. And let's go to the other side. So your left leg would be out. We're wrapping that other leg. Oh, I got a loop in there. And instead of leaning forward, I actually want you to pull back. Just pull back and feel the shoulders. So think about this. If we were leaning up against a wall and we were trying to pull the shoulders back into the wall, see what that feels like, and then notice if your kind of head, neck, shoulders can all be in a nice line. Take deep breath. And then maybe keep the shoulders wide, but take the torso forward a little bit. Oh, yeah. So we did the neighborhood hills this morning and definitely feeling that in the legs. Breathe. Notice, right? How's it feel? And then reach back up, bend your knee, grab the strap with one hand, take the leg up, lift up nice and tall through the chest, maybe take that arm up. Breathe. See if you can let go of the strap. Keep the leg, that's the hard work. and lower that leg down. I know it. That is such tough work. And straighten both legs, everybody. Flex both feet. See if you can sit up really tall. In Dandasana, sometimes you're better off with a little blanket underneath the hips just to bring the hip points forward, but you don't need them. Hands come down to the floor. Lift up super tall. Engage the legs. Press the back of the shins down into the floor like we did with the blocks, right? So press them down, feel back, right? Super active legs. Take the arms up optionally. Breathe. And just feel it. So both we're trying to ground down, we're trying to lift up, and we're trying not to make it super hard. Yeah, breathe. Bend both knees, wrap the arms around. Take a moment here. Good. And let's come on to hands and knees. You're going to need your blocks. Cushion your knees with a blanket if you need to. All those things. So you're going to take the blocks halfway down your mat. And you're going to put your knees on top. Now, I know, let's see, for one of my gals using a chair, I would probably just not do this. I would put hands on chair instead, and have your feet on the floor. So we're here, and then tone in through the belly. Lift your right foot off the floor, and then see if you can lift the right knee off the floor, and then lift the right hip up super high. And breathe. And then lower it down. Put those toes on the floor. Lift your left foot off the floor. Tone the belly. Lift the left knee off the block. And then lift it up as high as you can. And lower down. Go back to the first side. Lift. Make sure your knees are solid on the blocks. Lift the right hip. Lift, lift, lift. Turn the knee out. Flex the foot. Tone the belly. And slowly lower down. Doggone it. Hang on, everybody. My camera keeps being funky, and I don't know why it's doing that. It keeps knocking off. I'm going to check my connection, my looseness. I don't know why. All right, let's try again. Goodness gracious. When in the mountains. All right, here we are. So we did the right side, hopefully. Lift the left. Start to lift the hip. Take the knee out to the side. Engage the glutes. And then lower it down. We got one more on the other side. Tone in through the belly. Lift the foot. Lift the knee. Take the knee out to the side. Extend the leg out. Optional. Big work here. Bend the knee. Lower the knee. Bring it back to your block. And then last one, other side. The knee comes off. The hip lifts. The knee goes out to the side. The leg extends out. Breathe. And release slow. Good job, everybody. Plant those hands, downward facing dog. Shake it out. Bend one knee and then the other. And notice. And then lower your knees either back to your mat or to the blocks. If the blocks are not hurting, they actually feel pretty good to me. Leave them there. Okay, tone the belly in, press the right leg straight back. Lift the leg, tone the belly, release the left hand. Your left toes, left ball mound on the floor to help support you and balance you. Breathe. Lower that down, turn the toes, the right toes to the right. Slide that leg out. Lower that foot to the floor. Left hand stays on the floor, right arm goes up. Moving into a twist. And breathe. Exhale, down with that hand. Lift the leg, circle it back, Lower the knee to your block. If you need to come off the hands for a moment to shake them out, go ahead and do that. Good. Let's do the other side and then we're done. We're done with this little experiment. So tone the belly in, press the left leg back, find your balance, lift the leg. Take the right arm out, optional. It's a whole little different thing, right? It just changes things to have your knee up a little higher. Good, breathe. Lower the hand, turn the left toes out to the left, circle that leg out to the side, drop that foot to the floor. Tone in through the belly, lift the left arm, come into a nice little gate twist. And exhale, down you go. Bring that leg up and back and to your blocks, and then downward facing dog. And shake it out, everybody. Good. Last one here. You're going to lower your knees in front or actually behind the blocks. And then you're going to lower your hips onto the blocks. Now, I know for my dear friend out there who's using chair mostly, I know this one isn't going to work. So we're just going to do a little bit of a back bend. So if you're in a chair, you could sit in the chair and then lean back to arch the back, holding the back arms of the chair. So if you're here on your blocks, the blocks are underneath each hip point. Tone the belly in. I'm on my elbows. And then come onto the ball mounds of both feet. And engage the legs. And breathe. So the hips are active, right? The hips are active. The glutes are active. The legs are super active. Hold your pose here. The inner ankles are facing each other, so the heels are straight up. You're not rolling the legs out. Find your breath. And let those knees come down to the floor. Release that. Just pat out your feet. Release your upper body down. So now you're in this weird little A shape, A frame, right? Relax that. That should feel good on the back. One, you're going to stay here because you don't want to do a back bend right now. Or two, either you're going to come back to your elbows. This is super low. Should not be a problem. Or you're going to take your hands underneath your shoulders, keep your head tucked, and press up into a nice cobra using the blocks for an assist. If that's too high, bend the elbows, right? We could work those arms a little bit more. Breathe. Good. Press into your knees. You're back to table pose. Back to downward facing dog. Spread the feet nice and wide. Walk your hands over those blocks. And come on into a nice forward fold. Bend your knees and come on up. And shake it out, everybody. Good. So you're going to stack your blocks, one on top of the other, toward the front of your mat, but not all the way up to the top. And then stand behind it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat. And see if you can find downward facing dog with your forehead resting on your blocks. Now, this should not hurt your neck, and your neck shouldn't be all crunched up. Breathe. I want you to hold the beach ball between the elbows. Find this grounding. So when we ground the forehead, right, it calms the nervous system. So they say. Breathe. But the head is super light. So some of you, this block might be too high. For some of you, it might be too low. You can play with that. Breathe. And then walk one foot. Walk your right foot wide and forward on your mat. Walk your left foot forward and wide on your mat, and then heel toe the feet out and let the forehead or the head drop onto your blocks. So it's like a wide leg forward fold or a wide leg downward facing dog. And breathe. Playing with blocks today. You got it. And then walk your hands back toward your feet. So now you're in a forward fold. Bend your knees and come on up, everybody. And then step your feet together and shake it out. You can move the blocks out of the way for now or have them in front of you, forward fold-ish, in front of you, wide ways on your mat. Okay, long ways on your mat. Take your feet wide. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down to your blocks or to the floor. A lot of you probably won't need the blocks here, but some of you will. And again, if you're using a chair, you can either take hands to floor or hands to chair. Breathe, go wide on your feet. What I mean by that is press into the pinky edge of your feet, the pinky toe edge of your feet. And breathe. Find the middle space of your feet. Engage the inner legs. Start to pull the shoulders back as if you were going to press the shoulders, the back of the shoulders into the ceiling. So you're halfway up. Breathe. Turn the toes out. Bend the knees. Take your hands to your knees and come on up to standing. Heel toe in a little bit. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, squeeze down. Good. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale, make sure that butt's going back. Good. And last one. Inhale. Exhale, down. Hands come to your thighs. Roll the shoulders back. I want you to pretend you got that wall back there. And you're trying to get those shoulders back. And you're trying to get the head back to the wall. Whew. Yeah, feel those legs. No kidding. Inhale the arms here, keep the legs. Exhale, take that butt back, straighten the legs, hands come down to the floor. And then you're going to walk yourself to the left and come into a left foot forward lunge. You can grab your blocks here, right? Hands can go to blocks. Find your breath. Blocks are low. Breathe. Step back to plank. Hands are either on blocks or floor. I like the blocks. Press the shoulders back. Press into the heels. Activate your body. Downward facing dog. Hands should be able to stay on blocks. If the blocks feel slippery on your mat, take them out of the way. Good. Look through your hands. Step forward, right foot. You're back to lunge. Tone in through the belly. Press the shoulders back. Breathe. Step back to plank. You got this, everybody. Engage the legs. Press into the belly. Find your pose. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Walk your hands off your blocks. Walk the hands back a little bit more. Maybe you're coming to fingertips. Should feel the hamstrings stretching. Bend the knees. Take the hands back onto your knees. Come on up to a stand. Inhale all the way up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Roll the shoulders back and find that back body. So really simply, just take the hands behind you, palms face back, right? Palms are facing the back, and then press back with your hands and breathe. So the chest needs to lift up. The shoulders need to roll back down. There we go. There we go. As we press through and work the back body. And then take the hands up. Palms are face forward. and squeeze some more. If you're not used to using these muscles in the back of your body, you're going to feel this. Good. Take them up at a diagonal and breathe. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Or if those hands need to come to shins, do that. Breathe, shake out the hips. Bring your hands to your shins. Push the shins back. Obviously, you're resisting. Open up the spine halfway up. And inhale all the way up. Exhale to your heart. Shake it out. Good. Go back to the wide on your mat. Turn the toes out a little bit. It's going to be up to you how much they turn out, right? If you use the blocks at the front for forward fold, go ahead and move the blocks to the front. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Feel that. Walk your hands forward. We did this earlier when we stepped off our mat sideways, right? And then press the hands down toward the mat or toward your blocks. Reach the fingers back, broaden through the shoulders, engage your back body. It's tricky to continually access the back body. Breathe. And then let the hands come closer to your feet. Turn the toes out, bend the knees. Hands come to knees, come on up, stand all the way up. 5 more, goddess pose. Exhale down. Where are you going? You don't have to go far, but sit back, sit back. Yeah, inhale. Exhale down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Good, 1 more. Inhale. Exhale down. Hold, hands come to thighs, roll the shoulders back. Feel the pose now, right? Imagine you're pressing up against a wall. Head back, sacrum back, right? Feel that. I know the legs are working, at least they are for me, and I bet my hubby over there. Breathe. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, behind back. Hands to the floor, straighten the feet. Walk your hands back to the left. Your hands are back to your blocks, hopefully, or they're there because you left them there. Your right hand stays on the block. The left arm goes up. Now move from the center of your chest to raise the arm up and engage the back body as if the back of your left hand were pressing up against a wall. Feel that. Breathe. Exhale that hand to the block. Here we go, loves. Plank pose. Engage. Notice. I know, hang in there. Downward facing dog. Woo! That's it. Look toward the block, step forward, right leg. Adjust your pose so that you are in a lunge. Your left hand stays where it is. That right arm lifts up, moves from the chest. Don't crease through the wrist. Don't drag that shoulder back. Make it a beautiful straight line from the center of your chest. Even if your arm is forward, I'd rather see that than see all this cranking going on in the joints. Breathe. Exhale, hand comes down. Let's go. Plank, plank. Plank, plank. Woo! Come on, you know you can take knees down, by the way. You know that. Shoulders away from the ears, heels toward the floor, legs active. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees, everybody. Child's pose, hero pose, or anything in between. And breathe. Oh. right? It's amazing how we can get that body working, do all the stuff we want to do, work core, hips, legs, shoulders. We just did all of that. Big deep breath. All right. When you're ready, we're coming back to table pose. Your hands can come to your blocks. Step your left foot forward. Good lunge here, everybody. Lift your right knee, certainly optional. You can keep that knee down. I want you to take your hands to your left knee and then push your left knee down. The elbows are out to the side. So again, we're using resistance. Your knee is smack on top of that heel. So we're getting a lot of resistance here. Press down into that knee and then see if you can lift the heel any amount. Breathe. So working with strength here, working with resistance. Breathe. And then lower. And imagine, just imagine trying to pull that knee up into your hand. So nothing's really going to move. Breathe. And then take the hands up to your upper thigh. Push down. Find your balance. Inhale the arms up. Easy lunge here, simple lunge. Breathe. Find your strength, everybody. Exhale, super slow down to the floor. Keep your right hand where it is. Take the left arm up again. Here we are, twist. Press through the back heel. Press into the front heel. Breathe. Exhale, hands down. You know what's coming. Step back to plank. Knees up, knees down. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down dog. My friend out there that uses a chair, I am sure you're being very creative today. Very creative. Woo. Breathe, everybody. Look through your arms. Step forward with your right foot. Find your lunge. Take your hands to your knees. Stay low. Push down. Like I'm trying to really push my foot into the floor, but feel it right down to the heel. So if you're leaning forward, you're lifting off of that heel. I want you to press straight down. And then see if you can lift the heel any amount. Woo! Breathe. Lower that down. Take your hands to your thigh. Push down. Lift that chest. Inhale the arms up. Find the lunge. Breathe. Big stretch here. Nice belly tone. Breathe. Exhale, slow, slow, slow. Hands down. Left hand down, right arm up. Find that twist. Breathe. Last one, I promise. Hand down. Plank pose. Woo! Still feeling spunky. One foot lifts. Press the other foot down. Engage both glutes. Lower down. See if the other one works. Breathe. Lower down. Both knees down. Child's pose or hero pose. Hallelujah. Woo. And breathe. Good work. Breathe. Get a little water. Good. Come on up when you're ready. Coming up to a seat. So you've got these lovely blocks, and you're going to take them on your mat again, but this time they're going to be kind of in the long position, not the short position. And they're, roughly a foot back from the front of your mat. And place both legs on it. Ooh, and breathe. So this in and of itself should feel pretty good, right? Not a whole lot going on there. And point and flex your feet. And breathe. And circle. And then nice and neutral, but feet are flexed. You're going to press down into your right shin and lift your left. Tone in through the belly. Maybe take the hands off, core work. Breathe. Kind of a really strange variation of boat pose, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. It's easier if the straight leg is pressing down into the block. So let's go to the other side. The left foot presses, you lean back a little bit, lift the right leg, take the arms up, and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Good. Press both into your mat. Really press the hip bones back, and then maybe lean forward with the body. Go super careful here. Both legs out, forward folds for me don't generally work, but with the knees soft like this, I can come forward, find a nice stretch here without compromising my lower back. So you decide for you. And breathe. And then come on up, heels to blocks. Take those heels to the center of those blocks. The hands come behind. Now, how you do your hands is up to you. You can do it with fingers forward, sideways, back. You decide what feels best on your wrists and on your shoulders. For me, I tend to take the fingers out at a little bit of a diagonal, dig into the blocks, and lift your hips. Breathe. And slowly lower down. That's it. Okay, we're doing 2 more of those. Not about how far you lift. And you notice when I came down, the legs got a little straight. So we're kind of sliding in and up and sliding in and down. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Push and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide back, hips back, butt back, and pause. Last one. Here we go. Press up. Yeah, don't like my hands that way. And up and down. Woo. And breathe, everybody. Good. Scoot a little closer to those blocks so that the knees are bent. Dig into the blocks. Take your hands behind you. Lean back. Arms out. Boat pose. Breathe. One heel up. Boat pose. And down. Lift the other heel. Dig in one to lift the other. And down, both heels up. Find your balance. Woo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release fully. If you can cross the legs, cross the legs. If you can't, find another way to sit. Legs can go perfectly straight. And then hands to blocks, elbows to blocks. Maybe you come on down and forward. Some of you are going to stay mostly upright. Some of you are going to be able to slide the blocks forward, extend through the arms, and take the torso forward. Come on up. Press all the way up. Woo! Release those legs and bring the knees together for a moment. Good. Straighten your left leg and cross your right leg over. And then bend that knee and come into a seated figure four. If you want, you can dig that heel in and lift the toes up. Don't have to, but you can just to activate the legs a little bit more. And then with this foot that's kind of hanging out, I want you to give it a good circle through the wrist or through the ankle. Good. You can even use your hand to help. And then if you have the ability to reach your foot, you can take one finger in between each toe. Ah, yep, each toe. And circle. That's always fun. Circle the other way. And then the foot becomes still, but you try to pull the foot, you try to pull the toes. And let go. 1, you stay here. 2, you cross knee over knee. 3, you open up. We've been playing just teeny bits with cow face. So knees are crossed. You can take a block underneath the knees and let the knees rest there. You can take a block between the legs. Okay, you can do both, a block under and a block between. That feels kind of nice. I feel like I'm stacking a highway here. Or you can let the knees come together and to the floor, or you stay in figure four. All hip stretches from that little bit of work we were doing. That little bit of work we were doing. And breathe. Right. So that energetic part of class, and then this kind of coming down and calming down part of class, that's when we start to tap back into the breath and go, okay, so I'm back to breathing normally. I'm back to this equilibrium where I can kind of be calm and explore what feels right for me. Maybe the knees are out here more instead of crossed one on top of the other. All right, so lean back, undo the legs, straighten them out. Dandasana pose. Just gonna take this crazy hair down. And then let's go to the other side. So bending, if your right leg is straight, bending your left and coming into your seated figure four, maybe digging the heel in of that foot, that right foot, instead of having the foot flat. Maybe rocking a little side to side. So much depends too on the hips, right? Often one hip a lot tighter than the other. Good. And then let's get a good circle with the ankle. Take care of those ankles. Big flex and circle the other way. And then if you are so inclined, take a finger in between every toe, right? Even if you're down here, you should be able to reach and circle again. And circle the other way. And then pull on those toes, pull, pull, pull. And let go. Good. And then when you're here, right, any amount of here, your leg could be straight, your leg could be way up here, or you're going to start to cross the knees. You're going to walk the heels away from each other. You can use your blocks to stack as much or as little as you need to. And then you're going to take the knees down to the floor or not, right? Cow face is real tricky for a lot of people. A lot of students I know, hips don't like this extent of external rotation. That's okay, right? If you feel the stretch, awesome. If you feel pain, not so awesome. Pain, you start to shift it, right? Even that takes, for me, the stretch away, but it might be a great stretch for you. So take care of your bodies, everybody. Big deep breath. Exhale it all out. And then lean back, undo, straighten both legs, flex both feet, press the heels down, open the shoulders, take the arms out, engage the back body, whoo, right? So everything's working. I'm pressing down through the heels, through the calves, squeezing the legs, opening up the shoulders, and exhale, let go. Good. Bend the knees. We're coming down to the floor. So you're going to want one block where you can reach it. Everything else should be okay. We're not done yet, love, so don't get too sleepy on me. Your feet are on the floor, your knees are bent. Your back body is on the floor. I want you to just feel that, right? So often when we're doing just about anything, our low backs or our back muscles can get a little tense. And as soon as you lay on the floor, just find equilibrium. Just let the back muscles settle. That's it. So I want you to come back into those robot arms where the fingers are pointing up to the ceiling. Your elbow to shoulder arm is on the floor, and then press the shoulders back. Right away, that opens up the chest. And truly, if you have trouble with your upper back rounding more than you would like, this simple exercise of a little bit of work here. So press into the floor and release. Good. Press and release. We're doing 10. So press and squeeze. Release. This is 4. And 5. Squeeze. And 6. And 7. You can do this against a wall. You can do this in so many different ways. 8. And 9. Yep. 10, I want you to hold. 10, I want you to hold. Feet are to the floor. Tone in through the lower belly. Lift the hips. We're back to bridge pose. Maybe you notice how this feels different than the first one. 1, your arms are going to stay here. 2, you're going to let the arms straighten and see if your middle fingers can brush the back heel of your feet, the back of the heels. If you don't worry about that. That is a little bit deeper pose. Don't have to do that. The shoulders press down, the head is neutral. Big deep breath, press into your feet. Lift the heels off the floor. Woo, yeah, press the ball mounds down into the mat. And release, lift the toes. Press the heels in. And release, breathe. March in place for 10. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, 9, 10. Press up, everybody. Lean into the left foot. Lift the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that foot. Lift both hips. Last one. Lift the left foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Lift both hips. Lower your whole body down to the mat. Yay! And pause here for a moment. Deep breath. Deep, deep breath. Good. I want you to take the hips and shift them over to the left edge of your mat. Bring the knees up toward your chest. Roll the knees to the right to come into a twist. So the first thing we do, right, is lengthen the back body. So as I shift, the right shoulder to the right. It gives me more space to open the whole back body to the floor. Maybe that left shoulder comes closer to the floor. You can have that block underneath both knees or between the knees, wherever it makes sense to you. We're going to do a couple of things here. You decide for you. Starting in a twist, let's just feel that nice long pose. You can even take the left arm a little bit overhead to get a more length through that left side of your body. Breathe. So 1, you're staying here. 2, you're going to take the top leg and straighten it out to the side. So it's straight out to the side and hopefully on the floor. 3rd level, you're going to straighten the bottom leg toward the front edge of your mat. And then finally, you're going to turn your whole torso around until you come back onto your elbows facing your mat. One leg out to the side, the other leg down the front end of your mat. Don't have to do that. It's just adding a back bend. Breathe. You can even bend the straight leg because that would be easier probably for a lot of folks. Big stretch for the belly here. If you've come into the full pose here, you're going to come out the way you came in. So if you're up on elbows, first you lay down, then you open up your torso, bend your top knee. Everybody bring your knees back to center and you're back with feet on the floor. All right, here we go. Shift the hips to the right edge of your mat. Bring the knees to your chest. Roll the knees to the left, find your twist. Remember to use the blocks if that makes sense for you. As you broaden through the left side of your back, you'll be able to bring the right side down a little bit more in most cases. Breathe. Maybe the right arm goes overhead. And then again, you decide for you. You can take it at any stage or none of the above. Top leg straightens. I'm going to be in my way here. Top leg straightens. Bottom leg straightens toward the front end of the mat. Maybe the torso rolls over and you come up to elbows. Breathe. If you've gone through all of that, lower down. Release that long leg, take everything back to center, and then anyone who is in twist, bring all your body parts back to the center. Bring your knees to your chest. And then grab your block and place it under your sacrum. So this is a restorative bridge pose with the block on its lowest setting and that kind of long waist. You're supporting both of the SI joints and keeping the hips supported. So this should feel really good. If it doesn't, go ahead and remove the block. But this should feel really settling and really supportive for the hips. And then just kind of curl and tuck the pelvis a little bit. And then release to a slight tilt. Don't overdo here. And then curl and tuck and tilt a little bit. Good. One more, curl and tuck and tilt, and then come to a neutral space. Bring both knees to your chest. Take both legs up to the ceiling. Nice inversion here. Your shoulders are back to the floor. So if you're feeling like the shoulders are rounding forward, give them just a little press toward the floor so the chest stays open. The legs are hovering. And then for 5 rounds, we're going to be here for 5 rounds. I want you to do that counted breath we did in the beginning. So inhaling to the count of 3, holding the breath for 4, exhaling for 5. Your own count. Here we go. Three more rounds. Last round. Bend both knees. Right knee stays in, carefully straighten the left leg. Let that heel come to the floor. Breathe, stretching out the front psoas and the hip flexors. We worked them a bunch today. Bend the left knee, bring it toward chest. Slowly straighten the right leg. Just try to relax here, try to breathe. Relax your jaw. Good, bend the right knee. For some of you, you can curl the knees into your chest. It's going to round the back. And then release one foot to the floor, other foot to the floor. Lift the hips, take the block out. And then lower the hips all the way to the floor. Draw your knees to your chest one last time. Big circles with your knees. And then circle the other way. And straighten one leg all the way to the corner edge of your mat, straighten the other. And find Shavasana. And as you start to drift into Shavasana, just feel your body. Feel your breath. Feel the calmness, the serenity, hopefully. Feel your whole body settle down. Soften even more. For those of you who are ready, let's go ahead and start to wiggle the toes, the fingers, bend the knees, draw the knees to chest, squeeze them in, give yourself a hug. And then rock side to side until the knees roll to one side or the other. And from there, pressing up. Coming to your seated pose. And from there, bringing your hands to your hearts. bowing to your own inner wisdom, inner strength, inner goodness. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. It was great.